Depression is a battle that most men fight in silence. And it pains me to say this, but men are 4 times more likely to die by suicide, but somehow they are half as likely to be diagnosed with depression. This is because men mask their depression with destructive behaviors, substance abuse, overworking, aggression. As a result, their struggles go unnoticed until it is too late. I know you feel the weight in your chest, the numbness in your soul, and the isolation from the world around you. But here's the truth, you can overcome it. But not by pretending it doesn't exist, but by arming yourself with the right tools and mindsets. Today, I'll be showing you 6 powerful steps that every single man can take to rise above depression and reclaim his life. Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. And if you are new to the channel, my name is Dearenee, and I want to welcome you with open arms. And firstly, I want to double down on what I've just said inside the intro and let you know that you are not the only person who has been going through depression, and you will be somebody who will overcome it. I myself used to battle with it. It was terrible when I was growing up, but I can say I've been clean for so long now that I don't even know how long it's been. And I want you to hone in on point number 6. There's no chronological order between what is the best tips for all of them. It's just in a random order. But point number 6 is the most important step, which has genuinely changed my life. And I believe every single man needs to hear it because it will change their life and save them from any depression they are battling. But let's get straight into today's video with point number 1, which is prioritize physical health. Your body is the foundation of your mind. If you let your physical health deteriorate, your mental health will follow. Now, exercise is a non-negotiable, especially, and I mean especially if you're somebody who's battling with depression. And the reason why is, firstly, when you exercise, the endorphins in your body will be produced, which is basically like a feel-good drug inside of you that will help you combat any of these negative emotions and feelings which you have within your body. Now, alongside of this, when people start to feel depressed, they like to do what I call depression activities or depression habits, where you like to keep yourself alone, you don't want to move, you maybe stay underneath your blanket and you turn off all the lights, you play sad music for the whole entire day. To me, this is the only thing that I see as, if I was to say you are somebody stuck in a hole right now, and obviously you want to get out of this hole, but there are 2 options. You either dig deeper into the hole or you climb out of the hole. Those depression habits is only making you dig deeper and getting you into a worse situation than you started in. Let's say from day 1 when you was feeling bad, you probably could have been saved a lot easier. But the fact that you allowed yourself to just dig deeper and embrace this feeling is the reason why you feel the way you feel. But if you never stayed away from the exercise and the physical activities, trust me, you may have started to feel a lot better. I'm not saying if you start going to the gym or you prioritize your physical health, you will never feel depressed. However, it helps. And I want you to understand that throughout this video, I don't think any of these will genuinely just, apart from point number 6, will just instantly make a switch where it's like, okay, you are completely saved now. However, the way that I see it is that it all helps. And the more of the things that you are doing and the more of the good things that you're doing within your life will help you and keep you away from these things. And that will change your life. And when you do this on repeat for a long period of time, just the same way that I see it, you wouldn't even remember the last time you felt the way you felt, well, the way you feel right now. So ensure you do some form of physical activity. You keep your exercise consistently going, whether that's running, going to the gym, playing a sport. I highly recommend playing a sport or fighting because these are more communal things. Like, you don't really play basketball or play football by yourself. You play with some other people. So when you start playing with these people, you're getting yourself outside and being around people. Now that will definitely help you with your depression. Next, strength training and testosterone. So as a man, it's crucial that you progressively overload when you go to the gym, because there are actually links between lifting heavy and testosterone. Now, why would you want to increase your testosterone? Testosterone increases will give you that confidence and motivation which you are currently lacking. Now, if you don't have any motivation and you don't have any reason why you should do certain things or any emotions to push you to do certain things, you are going to struggle a lot, especially if you are depressed. Now, just getting that little test boost when you get yourself into the gym will guarantee help you a lot. Because I think a lot of depression, actually, I spoke about this in my other video, which was like my testosterone tier list or something like that, on something about the importance of testosterone. When it comes to increasing testosterone, it is imperative, especially in today's society, because I'm pretty sure the statistic was like, I don't know, the average man nowadays has the same testosterone as like a 65-year-old man, or a teenage man like in their 20s. So essentially like the prime of a man, his testosterone levels is the same as like a 65-year-old man in the 1980s. Now that you may think that's okay, that's far from normal. As a 23-year-old, your testosterone level should be extremely higher than a 65-year-old man, but they are not. So I think a lot of depression, especially within men, is linked towards a lack of testosterone. So if you increase your tests, you start lifting heavy, you do some strength training, you will see an increase in your tests. And once your test increases, you will see the confidence come back, the motivation come back. You'll just feel a lot better. And from that, you'll start to see the depression within your life just start to deteriorate. And sleep and nutrition matter. Now, sleep and nutrition are imperative. I'll give you a little story, which I spoke about in other videos, but going into 2025, my containers got taken by my family on Christmas. And you would think, okay, how does that link to you feeling anything? Because I didn't have my containers, I couldn't meal prep. And for me, meal prepping is crucial because I know myself. I know I will binge eat if I don't have a strict set meal that I should be eating at a specific time in the day. So if I don't have lunch and dinner prepared, I'm most likely going to buy fast food or get some next cheaper food or some cheap dopamine food. Now, when I eat that, I only feel worse. And when I eat that, funny enough, my sleep actually starts to get worse. Now, when your sleep gets worse and your diet is horrible, what's going to happen? You're bound to feel worse. But when you get yourself in a circadian rhythm and you have a balanced diet where you get all the micronutrients that you need for the day, you will start to feel a lot better. Like I was talking to somebody on TikTok Live, and he was saying that he feels horrible, that doesn't feel good, that mentally he doesn't feel like he can do anything. And I was like to him, okay, let me ask you some questions. And one of the first things I asked him is, how's your diet? I can't remember his exact answer, but all I remember is that his diet was horrible and he felt like he was bloated all the time. Now, if he's feeling like that, he definitely doesn't have a balanced diet. He's probably consuming way too many carbs than he should be. So I said to him, okay then, fix your diet and then come back and let's talk. Of course, I gave him some little tips on what he should be eating and stuff. He did that. He came back like 2-3 weeks later. He said, I feel so much better. And he was genuinely thanking me for giving him some simple advice such as sort your diet out. Now, this is the thing when it comes to physical health. I think a lot of people have heard it so much that they just brush it by and be like, oh, it's not really that important. But these simple things are the foundation. These are the most important things. It's like the story in the Bible about building your house on the rock or the sand or I can't remember the other surface, but it's showing the importance of having a strong foundation. If you was to build up your whole entire personality on a weak foundation, the smallest things is going to make it crumble, and now depression can literally kick down your front door and come inside your house. But if you have a strong foundation, you build your house on the rock, you will see yourself be unshakable when life starts to throw all these things at you. And when life throws all these things at you, you can adopt a different mentality. Rather than saying, I'm going through depression right now, it is, okay, this is a trial, this is a battle, and I'm going to use this experience as a learning for me to grow as a person. So when it comes to physical health, I don't care how many times you've heard it. If you've heard it 1,000,000 times, make this be the 1,000,001 first time that you've heard it again. And make this video be the video that says to you, no, you will get yourself into the gym and you will prioritize your physical health. I'm not saying from day one you should be Mr. Olympia, no. But at least start with going by once a week, 2 times a week. I remember I made a video for beginners. No more than 3 sessions a week when you first start. Start doing that, keep going. Start to just get a foundation and understanding where you are in the gym. Try all the machines on your first day, try everything. And then see what you like and what you don't like. Start searching on TikTok, okay, or anything, YouTube. Gym workouts for X, Y, and Z, what you want to be growing. If you're a guy, I don't know, shoulders, biceps, triceps. Learn these terms. And then start and get your foot on the door, and then bang, open the door. And trust me, if you're somebody battling with depression, you will see these things genuinely change your life. I used to struggle with it. And I saw that, the thing about me is I've been training for 5 years. My depression was during that time. And the funny thing enough is, around that time, when I was depressed, I wasn't going to the gym. It's literally because of lockdown as well. So I'll say there's 2 times in my life when I've been really depressed. And one of the times was lockdown. And of course, with lockdown, there's no gyms. I couldn't train. Now, we are not in lockdown. So I can be training, meaning I feel a lot better consistently. Now, if you don't go to the gym, or let's say there's not lockdown where you are, you have no excuse to not go to the gym. Now, if you feel worse, hear my advice. Start going to the gym and prioritize your physical health. And finally, when you treat your body like a machine, it rewards you with resilience. Now, if you make your body start doing certain things at certain times, you prioritize your sleep, you prioritize your meals, if you're treating it like a robot, like it's something that just has a strict system it should be following consistently, the funny thing enough is that is better for you than just living a complete freestyle life. If you're freestyling meals, freestyling sleep, it's not going to benefit you. It may feel nice sometimes, where it's like you're going to bed at like 3-4 a.m. because you're watching a movie. It may feel nice, but when you do it consistently, you will start to see the effects kick in. So ensure you treat your body like a machine, because you will see resilience coming. And you see your body start tackling and your mind start tackling all these situations in a different way. Point number 2, Control your mind through structure. Now this is crucial. Myself, I wouldn't say it was depression I was going through, but I was living quite a chaotic life, and mentally it just didn't feel right. I'll say I was completely stressed so much. And the reason was because I had no structure in my life. I didn't have a to-do list. I didn't have any plans. I was just waking up and getting straight to whatever I felt like doing. I didn't have a set time I go to the gym. Didn't have a set time I read my Bible. Didn't have any of these things. But since then, and I've changed it, and every single night before I go to bed, I have a to-do list. I don't really have the time thing anymore. I don't really say, okay then, at 9 a.m. I'm going to read my Bible. At 10 a.m. I'm going to be in the gym crunching. I don't have these things anymore. But I say, okay then, no matter what, tomorrow I'll be doing this, 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 and this. Just having that little bit of structure makes me feel 15 times better. The fact I'm recording this video, I'm not recording this by accident. I said yesterday night I'm going to record 2 videos today. So the first one I did when I woke up after reading my Bible and having breakfast, I planned a YouTube video, which is this video I'm recording right now. And I've sat here and I'm going to record it. I'm going to record another one before I go to bed and then do my to-do list for tomorrow. The amount of peace you get from a life like that, it will save you from so much pain. Depression thrives in chaos. The less structure you have, the more room there is for self-destructive thoughts. A quote which links to this is, "An idle mind is the devil's playground." Now you'll think, how? How can an idle mind be the devil's playground? If you have no thoughts on doing things, you have nothing you're striving towards, if you have no structure, you are leaving the door open for any forms of attack, any form of negative thinking. I don't have time to negative think. And of course, sometimes you might have extra binge time, but I don't have time to negative think because I'm thinking about things I should be doing. Now, if you have so much free time when you're doing nothing, you're not working towards anything that brings you joy through your purpose, you're going to have so much free time. And in that free time, what else are you going to do than disrespect yourself because you aren't doing anything? If it's such a paradox, it's such a cycle that in your mind you have nothing to do, and because you have nothing to do, you disrespect yourself because you have nothing to do, and now you don't want to do anything because you keep disrespecting yourself. Never ending cycle. So what does that mean? You get some structure in your life, you start doing something, now you don't have time to be thinking about these things because you're doing something, and now you can be happy because you're doing something rather than spending time talking about yourself, saying you aren't doing anything. So, a daily routine is your shield. Set a fixed time of when you wake up and when you go to sleep. For me, from 11, everything is off. Sometimes I struggle with this because creatively, my mind turns around like 10. Like it's not 10 right now, it's 6 p.m. I've just gotten back from the gym. But I tried to record this video earlier, my creative mind was not there. I was dehydrated, I just couldn't speak. So I stopped the recording, left and came back. However, from 11 to 7:30, everything is switched off. Everything. As I said, sometimes I do struggle because from 10, I might get a little bit more creative and try to create something. But I know around 11, the reason why I say 11 is because I leave myself leeway that by 11:30, I should be in bed trying to sleep. But that's me getting either 8 hours and 30 minutes towards 7 hours of sleep, guaranteed every single day. With that, oh, my life is very good. Very, very, very good. And you need to implement that within your life. Create like a structure. Say to myself, okay, I don't know, maybe you struggle to go to sleep right now and you're going to bed around 3 a.m. So just start light. Say tomorrow I'm going to go to bed at 1 a.m. And then the next day I'm going to go to bed around 12. The next day I'm going to go to bed around 11. Just start taking these little steps back where you're improving your sleep a little bit, and then set a strict routine when you're going to bed at a set time and waking up at a set time. That sleep structure will genuinely improve your life because you know, okay, at this time, I will start to wind down. That's at least what I call it, wind down. I turn my lights to red. I might pull out a book, or I might do a task that doesn't take too much brain power. I'll start to wind down and get myself ready to go to bed. Get the amount of sleep that I need, bang. Sleep, wake up, and I feel energized. Focus on the first hour of your day. Now, this is crucial. So many people just wake up and go straight onto their phone, dive straight into social media. It's not going to do any benefit for you. And the funny thing enough is, anything that happens within that first hour, or anything you've seen within that first hour, it's not going to go afterwards. The messages are still going to be there. The videos are still going to be there. And ultimately, if it's videos and things that you want to watch, just don't be watching them. You're wasting your time. I'm not saying you should never go on your phone to watch content because you wouldn't be watching this right now. But prioritize improving yourself. Say to yourself, I'm going to wake up, avoid my phone, do a set amount of things within the first hour, and then I'm going to touch my phone. For me, I like to wake up, make my bed, go into the bathroom, brush my teeth, drink some water, read my Bible. That's my first hour. After that, I will eat, I will get changed, go ready to go out to go to the gym or go to work or do anything I need to do within the day. But that first hour, it is crucial that I say to myself, no social media. I'm going to attack the day and do what I need to do. And if you struggle to do that, there's so many apps you can download. Free ad. What's the app called? Opal. I don't know if it's free. At least when I use it, it's free. or when I got it, it was free. I don't use it anymore because now it's more like I don't need the app to make me do it anymore. But what you can do is when you wake up, first thing you do is set an uncancelable timeout of 1 hour. So that means for the first hour, you can't change it. And of course, if you want to be strict with it, you can choose the highest setting where it is, no matter what, even if you delete the app to restart your phone, all these sorts of things, for that first hour or 1 hour, your phone will not allow you to use it. Do that, bang. You'll start to see yourself improve so much. The amount of things I get done now in the morning because I do that, I just start and feel so much better to go into my day. I also do my gratitude listing. I can't be able to show you guys, but I have a book where every single day I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. And I just feel refreshed when I do this within the morning. I think, what day was it? Not yesterday. No, it was yesterday. So yesterday I woke up late. I slept in a bit. As I said, I wake up 7:30, but yesterday I was tired and I woke up at 9:30. To me, that's 2 hours of the day done. Already a bad way to start. And then to make it worse, I didn't focus on that first hour. I woke up and I went onto social media. I checked my phone for literally 2 minutes. But just doing that was like a psychological shift where I was like, okay, yeah, I don't care anymore about this day. And I threw the day in the bin. I ended up eating, I think that was the second thing I done at 8. Shower, got changed, and I sat and played chess on my laptop until about 2 p.m. Horrible for my day. So from 9:30 to about 11, dilly-dandying, eating, all these sorts of things. I still read my Bible, but in the first hour, if I get it done then, I just feel so much more better for the rest of my day. I'm seeking after God first. But when I focus on other things, I'm not seeking first. And I just feel like the rest of my day is chaotic. So you want to get rid of this chaos by focusing on that first hour. And additionally, micro wins build momentum. Now, I call this to get your foot in the door rule, where if you say to yourself, I know it's going to be hard for me to do certain things, because of course you're going through the pressure right now. You're going to struggle to do the big tasks. Even the small tasks can sometimes be a little bit too hard. But if you get your foot in that door, if you say to yourself, okay then, I'm going to do not even the small tasks, the tiny tasks, it will start to build momentum. I think there's like a quote out there where it says, if you want to have a good day, just make your bed in the morning, stuff like that. The small things for me, if I wake up and I make my bed, I just feel a certain level of just, I don't even know. I just feel better every single time I wake up and make my bed. Because to me, it's like a small win. I wake up, make my bed, brush my teeth, drink my 500 milliliters of water, do my gratitude listing, read my Bible. These are small things. They're tiny things to do. But when I get them done, I feel so much better. And it gets me that momentum to say, okay then, now I can go throughout the day. I can go to the gym. I can tackle the bigger tasks, the more brain power tasks. So if you're depressed, start with the tiny micro things. Say to yourself, I'm gonna make my bed. I'm even gonna shower. For me, showering used to be a hard thing. Not saying I never used to shower, but getting that shower in. So for example, I've always been showering twice a day, but I may delay it and be like, okay then, I'm going to eat, I still eat first, but I'm going to do everything, all sorts of morning tasks before I go and shower. But once I realized, no, just get the shower out of the way, because once you shower, it's a tiny thing. It will improve your whole entire regime of doing things for your day. Bang. You feel so much better. It's a tiny win. Your momentum has built up, and now you can attack the day. So make sure you remember the micro wins build momentum. So prioritize those micro wins. Structure isn't just for productivity. It's a lifeline when your mind feels scattered. So ensure you build some structure within your life. Point 3, detach from isolation and seek brotherhood. Depression makes you want to isolate, but isolation deepens the darkness. Now, when I spoke about that digging yourself into the hole with those depression habits, those sorts of things is what will keep you within that darkness. If every single time you feel depressed and you recognize that, okay, when I don't feel a certain way, or when I feel a certain way and I don't feel right, all I do is I stay at home, stay in my room, shut my door, turn off my lights, keep the blinds closed, and turn on some sad music, and I do things by myself. Maybe you might even just be working in that environment by yourself. You will feel a lot worse. You're going to struggle to actually strive for more if all you do is stay within that darkness and that isolation by yourself. That's why I have a video coming about avoid isolative habits. Like, as much as we can glorify staying home and working by yourself, if you can, go to a cafe and work. Go to a restaurant and work. Just go outside and be around people and do the work. You will feel a lot more better. Of course, you're going to struggle to stay as locked in and be in that flow state when you're working outside because there's so many other distractions around you. But when you can, do it, because you will feel a lot better. It will improve you every single time. Avoid those isolation habits. Now, men need brotherhood. The thing about this is that you will see women have this. Women have such communities where they can go anywhere and talk to anyone about anything. But for some reason, men think that this is something they shouldn't be doing. But a brotherhood is imperative. For example, at my church, we were doing, every single 2 weeks, we have like a meeting together. And for the past 2 weeks, it's been men separated only sessions. And when we were in these sessions alone, we call it the men cave. And inside, everyone comes in and literally pours out all sorts of pent up trauma they've had up inside themselves. And it is beautiful because where else would us guys be talking about these sorts of things? Like even me, when I was in there, I started to actually rewire and be like, okay, there's certain things that I've done in my life and there's certain things that I've gone through within my life that I went through because I didn't do this, this, and this. And then you hear somebody else say, yes, I was going through this. Now you don't feel as alone anymore. You feel like, okay, no, there's actually somebody who I can talk to about this thing. The amount of people I've seen inside of there that strengthen their friendships with these people, all because they're going through the same thing. And when you do that, you can actually start speaking to each other and start to be your own therapist between each other. Men don't have these things. The only men who have it are men who seek after these things. I think every single man should have a brotherhood. Join a community. Join my community, my free Discord community. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. But ensure you seek after some form of brotherhood. I have 2 very close friends who we speak on a regular. And it keeps us away from having those feelings where we don't feel heard because we speak to each other. If I'm feeling stressed, even though I make videos and I say, don't complain. Anytime I complain, I might vent a bit and be like, yes, this is what I'm going to do for the action. But having that little bit where I say, no, I'm going to vent a little bit, it helps. Don't let anybody tell you it doesn't help. If you're complaining and it's not complaining where you're like, oh, I can't be able to do this, and then you just go back and then you don't do anything about it, now that's negative. But if you say, no, I'm actually feeling stressed about this certain thing, I'm still going to do it, but I feel stressed about doing this thing, it helps you because that, even just saying that relieves stress from yourself. So ensure you get into a brotherhood with people who are like-minded, like yourself, where you can go around and speak about these certain things because it will release any stress that's been held up inside of you. Find a purposeful tribe. So same thing with the brotherhood. You want to be around like-minded men because if I said to you right now, go and join I don't know what type of person you are, but let's say for example you're somebody who doesn't drink, you don't smoke, you don't party, and then I have to say to you, go and join this frat party and find your brotherhood there. You are not going to relate with any of these people. Now you're even going to feel worse because you feel like an outsider to these people. There's no point. You want to join a purposeful tribe, people who do the same things that you want to do, who strive for the things that you want to strive for. Because when you guys have this one like mind and you guys are striving towards one thing, you'll feel so much better being around those people than any other type of people. And finally, don't confuse social media with connection. And of course, you can have these conversations online and talk to people, but it is never the same as a one-to-one, face-to-face interaction. If you think texting people every single day will do anything for you, it doesn't do much. It can't compare to hugging somebody. It can't compare to just talking to somebody and being around people. For me, one of the main reasons why I go to the gym, it's not even just about the gains anymore. It's just about being around people as well. Like the only reason why I feel like I can record this video right now, as I said before, I struggle to record it, is because throughout the whole entire day today, I was talking to people. People ask me how am I so confident to speak on camera. I speak to a lot of people who I know and people who I don't know. Practically every single day. It's part of my job. It's just part of my lifestyle. So that's exactly what you want to do. You want to be around people, speak to people and allow them to nurture you. And avoid thinking social media is the only thing that will make you feel some form of connection. It's not. Avoid these isolation habits. If you're jumping online with your boys, it's not the same as being around together and jumping online. Like me, I'm not against gaming. I'm against gaming if that's all you do by yourself. But let's say, for example, at our men's cave meeting, they brought a PS5. I was playing FIFA for the first time since last year. But I had fun doing it because I'm playing against people right next to me. Of course I won, but it was more fun. It was fun to be around those guys and play. Now, do I have one? No. Will I play by myself at home? No. But will I play with people? Yes. Because it's fun. I understand it's fun to play, but ensure you don't do it by yourself because it's only going to make yourself feel worse. Your social skills will decrease. Just play around people and trust me, you'll feel a lot better. So iron sharpens iron. You cannot sharpen yourself in isolation. You can't. Of course, you can get some work done when you're by yourself. But if especially you're somebody who's going through depression right now, avoid the isolation. Don't even let people tell you, yeah, go lock yourself into the room and hustle by yourself. Nah, if you are depressed right now, go outside and be around people. Point 4, mission first, feelings second. Now, this links to prioritizing your purpose over the way you're currently feeling. Now, our men cave, one of the speakers were there, and what he was talking about wasn't really relative or relates to what I'm currently speaking about in terms of depression. But somebody asked him, how do you, I don't know the exact question, but they asked him, basically, how do you not lose the motivation or the hunger to achieve certain things? And what he said is, he always goes back to his goal. Whenever he feels like he's going to go off track, or he feels like he doesn't want to do something, or he has something that he should be doing, it links to his goal. Now, this is what I mean by purpose over motivation, or mission first over feelings. Because if you feel like you don't want to do it, or you feel like you want to avoid the certain thing because you feel a certain way, you're not going to do it. But if you say to yourself, no, my mission, my purpose, my goal come before any way that I feel, and this can be seen as overworking, but I think this is a healthier way to deal with certain things. You say my mission is more important than this, oh, you'll feel a lot better. Because if you say I will do this even when I don't feel like doing it, the days when you do feel like doing it, you're even pushing harder than ever before. The amount of times when I go to the gym and I say to myself, who am I on the days when I don't feel like doing it? Because sometimes I just don't feel like going. But on those days when I do go, and I do it when I don't feel like doing it, I feel a lot better than on the days when I go and I feel like going. Because on the days when I don't feel like going and I'm conquering this self-inflicted battle and I win, you get that same victory feeling. As humans, we have these pent up inside of us with our lizard chimp brain that is so used to war and conquering thousands of years ago. So when I get these little wins over myself, in my mind doesn't know the difference between me slaying 1,000 men with a jawbone like Samson. My mind just thinks, oh, he's won this battle. And I just feel so much more confidence and motivation towards myself. And that's funny because it links to the next point, which is stop waiting for motivation. Don't wait for motivation to get you out into the gym. I get the same people say, oh, discipline over motivation. But even though just wait for the discipline, prioritize the identity. Say to yourself, I'm the type of person who does things when I don't feel like doing it. When I don't feel like doing the work, I'm still going to do the work. Ironically, you might call me cringe or crazy, but I had a rock in my shoe yesterday, and my shoe was quite uncomfortable. I could have easily just taken my shoe off and taken the rock out. I'm not saying this is the correct mindset, but I think how stupid it's gonna sound. But I kept the rock in my shoe because I was saying to myself, the reason why you're not taking it out is because you want to take it out. I was saying to myself, you don't do the things you want to do, you do the things you don't want to do. Now, because I don't want to take it out, I said, no, I'm going to keep this thing in my shoe. I'm going to say to myself, no, it's just a mental thing. Because I do want to go out there and start hiking. For me, I just like doing a lot of things. So hiking is something I want to do. So with that rock in my shoe, I said to myself, because the main thing is, one, my shoes were uncomfortable, and two, I had the rock in my shoe. So I said to myself, if your shoes are uncomfortable and you have a rock in your shoe, now imagine yourself on the mountain and you're stepping on these harsh terrains. What will you do then? I know it's stupid because all I'm talking about is I could have just taken the rock out of my shoe and completely disregarded this. But I said to myself, no, I'm going to get these little wins over myself. And that's what I mean. Don't wait for the motivation to kick in. Just say to yourself, no, I'm the type of person who does things when I don't feel like doing it. And trust me, you will see the depression start to deteriorate within your life. Depression convinces you that you need to feel good before you take action. And that's the trap. You don't need to feel anything before you start. There are certain times when, like even for example, you know the Clash Royale sound was like, dun, 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 dun. I heard that one day and then randomly I said, oh, I want to start playing Clash again. This was when I was in Paris. Downloaded the apps again and I was playing it. And then one morning I woke up and I was like, I'm prioritizing this game too much. And it's the same thing which I done with Snapchat. I said, okay, I'm going to delete it and put my laptop. With Clash, I was just like, no, I'm just going to delete it. I didn't have any motivation to do it. I didn't have any reason to do it. I just said, reason apart from, I'm prioritizing too much. To the point where it's not even like too much. I was playing it for like an hour a day. But to me, that hour meant so much to me. I just said, nah, I'm just going to delete it now. There was nothing special around it. I just woke up, was like, you know what? Yeah, enough is enough. And just delete the apps right there. No motivation to back it, no nothing. Just literally just went and delete the apps. Because I didn't feel like I didn't need any feeling to make me do it. I just said, no, it just has to be done. Now, don't allow the lack of feelings that you have right now to stop you from doing certain things. If you don't feel like going to the gym, go to the gym. You don't feel like doing the work, do the work. You don't feel like chasing after your mission, chase after your mission. Do the things on the days when you don't feel like doing it. Because that's the type of person who you are. And you might not know it right now, but trust me when I say to you, you are the person who does things when you don't feel like doing it. Purpose destroys depression. Depression is the feeling that you don't have anything to do. It's the feeling of emptiness. It's the feeling of isolation, the feeling of sadness. But when you have purpose, when you feel like, no, I have a certain thing that I am chasing afterwards, it destroys that depression. It makes you feel a million times better, where you're like, this small thing can't stop me from the trajectory which I'm trying to chase afterwards. I can't allow myself to be in a rut for 2 weeks. The amount of things I would get behind on, I just can't. I'll say to myself, okay then, if I'm feeling a little bit stressed, I'll go do some stress releasing habit things. I'll go to the spa. I will read a book for an extra hour a day. I will go and drink coffee at a cafe. I will spend some time around people outside. I will do things that relieve my stress. I'll go to the gym. But I will not allow this thing to take away 2 weeks of my time. That will make me lose out on my purpose. Allow your purpose to be one of your core focuses, and it will keep you away from depression. You won't even have time to be thinking about that. So depression grows in the absence of purpose. So many men feel like, this is the thing, I don't even think they use the word depression. And this is what I spoke about in the intro, where they mask it. You don't feel depressed. You just don't have a purpose. And it's not even like you know the term that you are depressed. It's just you don't have a purpose. You aren't doing anything, which is why you mask it with doing things that you shouldn't be doing. You're probably going out clubbing with your boys. You're probably smoking. You're probably vaping. You're probably drinking. Not because you want to, but because you don't have any purpose. Now, when you do these things, you feel a lot worse. But now imagine I said to you, in the next 15 years, if you stick out this business plan, which you have in your mind right now, the small little business plan in your mind, you stick out it for 15 years, you'll be a multi-millionaire with your wife, your kids in a mega mansion. Would you do it? You'll be like, yeah, but you don't know it. And because you don't know it, you fill it up with these things that you shouldn't be doing. You're masking it, you're masking it, you're masking it. Until one day you say, enough is enough, I can't take this anymore. But when you say to yourself, no, I have a purpose, I have a mission, I have something I'm chasing afterwards, I'm going to keep striving after it consistently. No matter how I feel, you won't feel those feelings anymore. And when you do feel them, like I said to you before inside the video, you will look at it as trials, as learnings, where you'll be like, okay, I've gone through this, I'm going to take this onto my shoulders and take it with me into the future and use it as a learning. When me and my friends, we lost all of our money, I find it funny because none of us were depressed. At least the way that depression is glamorized and looked at right now, none of us weren't sitting in our rooms. Okay, we were sitting in our room screaming, but we wasn't doing it for 2 weeks. we wasn't tearing our hair out and going up. Yeah, we went insane. We went a little bit insane, but we wasn't sitting there sad. We was insane like, okay, yeah, these are the emotions we're feeling right now, but we're gonna take these emotions and use it to as a learning, to say next time we get in a situation like this where we're making money and we are making more money than we was making then, we're going to be wiser and smarter than when we was younger. We're going to use this pain of seeing the shine, seeing Mount Olympus, seeing the glory, and losing it. We're going to use that to strengthen us for the future. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to have a purpose that says, okay, even when I'm going through all these things, it's a learning. It's going to benefit me sometime into the future. So progress over feelings. Instead of chasing happiness, chase progress. Chase the results. Chase seeing. This is my term inside the gym. I'm not even chasing the pump anymore. I'm chasing results. Don't even chase after the pump. Don't be hitting 5 reps for you to be getting a mad chest pump. Nah. Hit as many reps as you need to for you to get the results. Whether that is 2, okay, maybe not 5 reps. Let's say, for example, you're hitting 15 reps for you to get pumped. Hit 5 reps and make sure the 5th rep is to failure. And you will see the results that you're looking afterwards. You can hit the 15 and get pumped and start recording, or you can hit the 5 and make sure that 5 was a struggle and then up the weight and maybe go for 2 or 3 or 1. Like for example, my set today in the gym, I started on 60 kg, did 10. Went to 100 kg, did 6. Went to 120, did 2. Went to 140, did 1. Brought it back down to 100 kg, I say I did 6. How many reps? I say I did 7 or 8. My friend said I did 9. And then she helped me lift it up for the final rep. Done. But I said to myself, I'm chasing after the result. I couldn't really care about being pumped. I care about the result. I care about increasing the weight when I go, or at least maintaining. Like I hit 140 last week for the first time ever. And now it's part of my regime now. Now that's what you want to be doing. Chase after the progress over the feelings. When you become mission driven, depression has no room to thrive. Like I said, I can't allow depression to take me out for 2 weeks. I can't. And this is speaking from a place, I'm quite privileged. The Lord has blessed me with privilege. I haven't lost anyone in my family by God's grace. I haven't my immediate family. I've gone through things, but I didn't view them as things that would knock me out for 2 weeks. I just didn't, by the grace of God. And because of that, and I say I have a purpose that I'm chasing afterwards, I can speak from at least from my position, I've not allowed it to take me off course. Because I don't have time for depression to be taken off course. Because I don't want to get to the place where this would have been the time when it would have been my gift that is flowing out, my purpose that would be showing, my time to shine. but I missed out on it because a girl broke my heart 3 years ago, and I was depressed for five months, and it stopped me from being able to do anything. I can't let that be my story. I just can't. Whenever I see, even though I'm not chasing after girls, sometimes in my mind I might get that little feeling where it's like, but I can't allow that to put me out. I just can't. Allow your purpose to drive you. Allow your purpose to be the thing that says, even when I'm feeling like this, nah, I have something I need to do and I'm going to get it done. Point number 5, cut out dopamine overload. Depression is often worsened by the constant abuse of cheap dopamine. I'm going to just make this one quick because everyone's heard about cheap dopamine and avoiding cheap dopamine. So dopamine hijacking. Dopamine hijacking, basically porn, junk food, smoking, drinking, alcohol, all these sorts of things. Cheap dopamine. They are hijacking your dopamine. They are making you feel like you're on top of the world for these small moments, and then afterwards you feel horrible. Like anyone battling with lust or battling with masturbation, or what's the term now, fapping or stuff like that. If you're battling with that, you know how bad you feel. What's the term? Post-nut clarity. You know how bad you feel afterwards. But you know how good you feel in that small instance when the thing is making you feel as heightened as it possibly is. You want to not feel depressed? Lower your dopamine. Take these things out. These things aren't in my life. You want to have your dopamine receptors or your dopamine triggers so low to the point that these things like that, it might even be too much for your mind. Like for me, I can't really go around, if I'm not in the gym, I can't listen to loud music. When I'm at home, I'm listening to ambient sounds, like the sound that was playing over my last video. Those are the type of sounds I listen to. I could give you a song, I think it's by My Head Is Empty, A Way Out. It's like just some sound. I don't even know, it's just literally sound. That's all I can really listen to. I slap on some jazz sometimes. Just sounds, no lyrics, just sounds. And gospel as well. Not blasting it to full maximum unless I'm really feeling it in the realm of the spirit. But other than that, I stay chill because I like to have my dopamine receptors quite low, which helps me to be able to do the work. Now, if you are somebody who is abusing these cheap dopamine and it takes a lot for you to feel a certain way, your common day is going to feel horrible. If you are bashing for me the same as fapping. If you're fapping every single night, your days are going to be a struggle, especially if it's not even like you're having healthy sex with a partner who you are with and who you love. If you're just touching yourself every night, you are going to struggle to feel anything in your coming days. Because one, you're going to look down on yourself and say, what the hell am I even doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Firstly. And then secondly, the fact that you've just released all of these emotions, all of these things, you're going to feel like you're going to have nothing. What God can say, there's no dopamine. You're going to have, there's nothing in you. You're going to have nothing when it comes for you to be attacking the next day. So avoid these dopamine hijacking things because they're just going to be stealing your dopamine for that small little bit, but leave you with a massive scar. So the dopamine detox rule. So I want you to do is, for people call this like, what's that thing called? Monk mode. I don't really recommend monk mode. And the reason why is because I don't think you can go from a height of extreme dopamine to completely low, because I feel like that's going to worsen your depression. So if you're somebody who's depressed right now, go back to the other point, which was the micro wins build momentum. What I want you to do is start small. Let's say, for example, your current routine looks like, I don't know, you're eating fast food, you are currently vaping, you drink every single Friday and Saturday, you fap, what other bad habits are there? You binge watch Netflix every single night, I don't know, smoke weed, you do all these sorts of things. What I want you to do is start to take out one of these things. Let's say, for example, it is you smoke weed. I want you to stop smoking weed, and I want you to swap that out for reading a book that you're interested in. And you can't tell me you have no interest. There's something that you're probably interested in. I want you to read that book. Or even better, what I'll say. Let's say, for example, you binge watch Netflix right now. I want you to stop binge watching Netflix, those drama series, and I want you to watch some history videos, some documentaries about learning. Or I want you to learn about a business model which you're probably interested in. Now, those small little shifts, they may seem like nothing, but they will add up. Because they'll open the door, they're destroying the limiting beliefs, they're destroying those negative feedback loops. That's what they're going to be doing for you. If you are smoking weed and you stop smoking weed now and you start reading, you're going to not feel the exact same buzz as smoking weed, but you are decreasing dopamine receptors and decreasing the way that your dopamine spikes. And then eventually, that will start to get your dopamine to a certain level where it's like, okay, this is fine now. And this isn't something that's going to happen overnight. You might relapse, but it's the fact that you do it in a surplus. You say to yourself, okay then, from now for the next 12 to 14 months, I want you to, I, as in you saying I, will focus on this thing. And I'll say to myself, I'm going to try and be in a surplus of taken away these these big dopamine hijacking things in my life and replaced them with multiple low dopamine stimulating things. For example, waking up and reading my Bible. Somebody would say that's not quite dopamine. That's not a big dopamine spike, honestly, because I'm sitting there reading. But just the fact that I do it, now to me, it feels so good. Rather than, it's probably not going to give you the same buzz as if you was going to a club and they're blasting loud music and you're kissing off some random girl who's a 10 inside a club. It's not going to give you the same buzz. However, when you do it, what is better for you? I'm choosing that low dopamine, that spiritual feeding reading, rather than going to the club and doing that. And in your mind, you may not understand that right now, but when you start doing it and you see the difference in the way you feel, you will choose that side every single time. Another thing, drinking my 500 milliliters of water in the morning. It probably won't feel as good as drinking my favorite juice, but what's better for me? The low dopamine thing. I'm going to lean towards that thing. It's about not choosing the easy option, but choosing the right option. So when it comes to decrease your dopamine and avoiding these dopamine hijacking things, choose the thing that will benefit your dopamine in the long run. And finally, why this works is when you lower your baseline dopamine dependency, your brain starts finding genuine pleasure in meaningful activities again. I feel so much better when I sit there and I just do my gratitude list every single morning. I just feel so much better. I just go into the world having a more positive mindset for the things. I'm writing it there, oh, I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for God's word. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my friends. These are the things I'm grateful for. Now I start to appreciate them a lot more because they actually have meaning. Rather than me sitting there smoking, which has no meaning for me, I'm saying I'm grateful for the meaningful things. And both of them take when I used to smoke, how long did it take? You smoke for 15 minutes, I think. The gratitude, it take 10 seconds. But you get it, okay, maybe it's 2 minutes. You get it done and you feel more meaning. You feel a lot more better. It doesn't spike your dopamine as much as smoking. But it is a lot better for you. So shy away from these high dopamine spiking activities. You want to be doing the low dopamine activities. So reclaiming your natural dopamine sensitivity makes life worth living again. You'll be able to read your Bible if you are not comparing it to doing cocaine. You'll be able to get a good night's sleep if you're not comparing it to staying up and, I don't know, inside a club. You get what I mean? So if you take away these big dopamine hijacking things and you replace them with low dopamine things, you have a good rhythm and a good structure in your life, talking about the other point, and it'll make your life 15 times better. Now, point number 6, and as I spoke about in the intro, this is the best, most effective tip that I could ever give you. There's no other step that you can do in your life that is more impactful than this. And it is surrender to Christ. Now, if you are somebody who's, I don't even know, wherever you are, and you're not somebody who believes in Christ, once again, use this video as your sign to hear it out, listen to what I say, and implement this within your life. So I would say, when I was battling depression, I was choosing to battle it by myself. I was choosing to be like, yes, I'm strong enough to be able to do certain things. But in all honesty, I was not. And the funny thing about this is that I spoke about this in another video, in the breakup video, where I said about the term, we have Christ-sized holes. So you think the depression will be filled or depression will stop happening if you start going to the gym or you start making more money. But there are hench people, shredded people who are depressed. There are billionaires, trillionaires. Okay, I don't know if there's trillionaires, but billionaires, I don't know if there's trillionaires out there. But there are very, very rich people who are depressed. So the money's not going to change it. The physique ain't going to change it. So what is it? It's about eternal peace. It's about filling that Christ-sized hole. There's one thing that no amount of self-improvement, fitness, or brotherhood can replace, and it is a relationship with Christ. So, you can't fix the soul with the flesh. And the scripture I want to give you guys is Matthew 16:24 in KJV. Then Jesus said unto his disciples, if any man come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Now, when I look at that, I look at it as I have to deny a certain part of myself. I have to deny those fleshly desires for me to go after the better things and seek after the good things, which is of Christ. Now, you might think, how does that link to depression? How does that link to sorting out my depression? Deny yourself. Deny those feelings. Deny your flesh. Because ultimately, this depression is coming from, it might not just be a physical thing or a mindset thing. It might just be a spiritual thing. But you can't get rid of the spiritual thing if you are trying to deal with it with your flesh. You have to deny your flesh and seek after the most powerful spiritual thing, spiritual being that there is. And fight this battle with Christ. And how can you do that? You deny yourself. You take up your cross and you follow him. And you allow him to help you. When you are in, the amount of times when I have a Bible emergency numbers on my wall. I have all the time, God is good. I have these reminders. I'm reading my Bible. Because I'll tell you right now, as a man, I can't deal with anything. I cannot. I've seen the way my life looks when I try to deal with these things by myself. And I'm a big overthinker. I'm not saying that as a negative thing, but even good things I overthink. Like, for example, I could get into a heated debate. Not to the point where it causes any harm, but a heated debate, and I'll sit afterwards and say, okay, then I could have articulated this better. I could have said this better. I could have changed my tone there. I could have probably just not had the conversation in the first place. Those are how I look at these situations. Now imagine me in a situation where something tragic has just happened to me, where it's now going to be seen as trauma in the future. I'm sitting there typing away, writing away. I remember there was one time when I went through something, I journaled for like 30 pages. I threw it in the bin now because, I lost my mind that day. But that's me trying to battle it. Now, when I have Christ on my side, I don't have to look at situations like that. I'm like, whatever I'm going through right now, it is by the grace of God. This is the strength for me. And it gives you that mindset shift through anything that you're going through. The peace that surpasses understanding. Philippians 4 verse 7 says, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. I want to repeat something. Surpasses all understanding. So you can't even understand the peace of God. I can't even sit here and contextualize the peace of God to you. You don't understand it. Neither do I. But the fact that it exists, it will destroy any form of depression within your life. Depression will fall at the knees when you hear about the name Jesus Christ. Seek after Christ, because it will give you the peace that surpasses understanding. You wouldn't even be able to explain the peace that you feel. This kind of peace, the kind of peace that doesn't just come from circumstances. It comes from knowing your life is in God's hand, no matter what storms rage around you. And in terms of the storm, you could look at the story of when it was Jesus and the disciples on that boat, and they was in the middle of this raging storm. And Jesus said to them, don't you have any faith in me? They're saying, oh, Master, we're going to die in the storm. Jesus, you don't have any faith in me. We're in a storm, but I am here with you. And I'm pretty sure he said something or he done something which made the storm instantly calm down. And they looked at him and said, yes, this is truly the Son of God. That is how you want to be looking at these situations in your life. That when you are in the middle of the storm, when life looks like it's coming down, when the roof is caving in, I still have Christ. So no matter what I'm going through, there's a way out. Freedom from shame and guilt. Now, I'm not the strongest man. I sin every single day. A lot of the men of God who you see, the humble men of God who you see, they are men enough to admit that they are not anything. They may look like they're special online, but they know they ain't anything. The only way that they go through these battles is because they have Jesus Christ on their side. I sin so much. I have struggles. But because I have Christ on my side, I don't feel shame. I don't feel guilt. I know it's a battle that I'm battling to eventually get to the presence of the Lord. One of my favorite sayings. It is a blessing to sacrifice just 80 years of your life to be in his presence. Do you understand what that means? It is a privilege, a blessing to sacrifice 80 years of those trials and tribulations to be able to be in his presence. Now, if you believe that he's not going to be helping you during those 80 years when you're depressed, you're believing incorrectly. When you are depressed, when you're battling these things, his peace, his understanding, his care for you, his love for you will be there with you. Don't allow these things to just waver over your head. When you hear this, act on it. The scripture I want to give you is Isaiah 43, verse 18 to 19. Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of the old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. He will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. When you don't remember the things of the past, when you let the past go, when you let go of those old experiences, any shame, any guilt that you have will be taken away from you, because he will make a way in the wilderness. He'll make a way in your life where you don't feel that shame anymore, that guilt anymore, and you won't feel depressed. Because maybe you're feeling depressed right now because you've done something you shouldn't have done. You slept with someone who you shouldn't have slept with, and you feel guilty and you feel shameful right now. But guess what? When you forget about it and you move on, he'll make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Purpose beyond yourself. Now, I'm going to assume you've watched my other video. If not, I will link it to this video where I spoke about being a leaf on a tree. Now, I couldn't properly contextualize it in that video, but I'll contextualize it right now. Being a leaf on a tree, When you are a part of Christianity, when you have a covenant such as Matthew 28 verse 19, go ye therefore and teach all the nations, not just London, not just Birmingham, not just the UK, not just Europe, all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. That ain't something that can be done by one person. And that ain't something that can be done overnight. This is purpose-driven living. You can't just do this by yourself. You have to be with people. You have to be a leaf on a tree. How many leaves are there on trees? That's exactly what we are. We are leaves on a tree. We are serving a purpose which is greater than ourselves, greater than every single one of us. There is no man that's greater than the purpose that God has for us. None of us. So when you have this purpose that you are going out there to teach all the nations, you don't have time for depression to take you out for 3 months because there's somebody who needs to hear that word. Or even better as well, when you go through this thing, you glorify Christ and you use that as a testimony to win souls. And trust me, it's the same way that I spoke about in a TikTok video about generosity. When you are generous, when you provide someone with something, or for example, in this situation, when you provide a testimony to somebody else and you see their soul get won, it feels better than anything. Just explaining what I've gone through, the pains that I've gone through, the stresses that I've gone through, to be able to contextualize it to you, for you to now give it life to Christ, that the amount of blessings that does for me, it's more than any money. Because I know in heaven, they're getting the gold suit tailored for me right now, they're getting my house, diamonds, golden Bugatti, they have all of it getting prepared for me. But of course, it's not the main thing, but having that purpose within my life that I should be going out there and teaching all the nations, there's a certain level of peace within my mind where I'm like, that small little incident, it doesn't even compare to my purpose. It can't shake it. It's not even close. So allow yourself to be driven by the purpose that we need to go and teach all the nations, that we have a purpose above ourselves. And finally, strength in your weakness. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 19. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. So when you are strong, when you are weak, he is strong. When you feel like you can't take on these battles, God will come and battle with you. What is the script? I don't even know the scripture. I'm probably going to message my editor and send it to him. But it's in Psalms as well. I think it's 100 by my left, 1,000 on my right, and none shall come near me. It's a powerful scripture. Basically saying that with God, there's nothing that you can't do. Any battle that you're going through, God will come and fight with you. At the name of Christ, every knee shall bow. Depression shall bow. Whatever you're going through, it will bow. Because Christ is more powerful than any of it. So allow this tip that I've given you. Point. Turn to Christ, surrender to Christ. Allow this to be the thing that will truly change your life. Let this video be the video that says, okay, no more, I'm no longer dodging it. I'm going to act on it. I will give my life to Christ and I will start this journey. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy walk. I'm not saying tomorrow you won't feel depressed anymore. But I'm giving you an escape route during that depression. That you will have somebody, our Father, our God, to be able to help you on this side. When you give your life to Christ, you no longer fight depression in your own strength. You fight it with the power of God within you. Allow the power of God that's already dwelling within you, to be born, to take action, to help you in this battle. Depression is a brutal fight, but it's one you can win. Every man has the power to rise from it. Prioritize your physical health. Build a structure. Surround yourself with purpose-driven men. Cut out artificial dopamine. Have a mission. And finally, surrender to Christ. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And if you enjoyed today's video, please comment down your favorite point. Alongside of this, I want you to share this with somebody who needs to hear this. Keep going. You will get through this. And your best self, your ideal version, your goal identity is waiting for you on the other side.